Our producer, Jason Stein, is here. Stein, tell me what has taken place between the late hours and the early morning hours to now.
So when you're talking about what happened overnight, the most dramatic shift is taking place in Wisconsin and in Michigan. Okay? And let's focus in on the states where things are still up in the air. We're talking about Georgia. We're talking about North Carolina. We're talking about Michigan. We're talking about Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And I do have some breaking news. CNN has just called the state of Maine for Joe Biden.
Which isn't a lot, but it does matter.
So, as you mentioned, those states that I was just talking about, Trump did or does have leads in those states. Mm-hmm. Okay. He still leads in Georgia, but votes are still being counted. He still leads in North Carolina, but votes are still being counted. Trump led in Michigan for much of the night. That is now looking much, much better for Joe Biden this morning. And I actually, the trouble is that, you know, you've got precincts that are reporting, and those numbers are changing all the time. The percentages are changing all the time as votes are coming in as we speak. Mm-hmm. But the latest numbers that I have on Michigan, about 96% in, Biden with a 49.5% lead to Trump's 48.8% lead.
And hold on a second. So when you have that many votes already counted, that is a huge lead.
No, it's not.
When you have that many votes,
no, it's like 30,000 votes.
Okay.
So overnight, Biden has overtaken Trump in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Overnight, Biden has overtaken Trump in the state of Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Now, I went to local media sources in Wisconsin this morning, and they are reporting 100% of the precincts are now in. They have Joe Biden with a very slim margin of victory there, 50 to 49%. Mm-hmm. The actual raw totals in Wisconsin, 1,630,428 for Biden, 1,609,844 for Trump. So you can see that's close. But as you alluded to, Brian, last night when we went to bed, those were both in the Trump column. But both Michigan and Wisconsin have said it's going to take some time to count all of these mail-in ballots, many of them coming from the cities.
Yep.
Okay? So that's what those are, I'd say, the surprises we woke up to this morning. As I mentioned, Trump's still leading in Georgia with some votes being counted. Still leading in North Carolina. Okay? So we're monitoring those. The big surprise of the night before most people went to bed was the state of Arizona.
Yep.
Arizona has been called for Biden by two major outlets. That's the Associated Press and Fox News.
Yep.
Okay. CNN is still not calling Arizona for Joe Biden.
Do you know why? Because it was called with 73% of the vote in, and there was like 1 million votes outstanding. Right now, Trump's down, I believe, 75,000, and there's about 87% of the vote in, and most of the votes that are going to be counted are Pima County and Maricopa. So Arizona is very much in play, and the Trump administration made a big deal about that last night.
Maricopa. So the AP, I read this morning that the AP, the reason that they counted the state of Arizona for Joe Biden is because the majority of the votes that are still to be counted are in Maricopa County. They're mail-in ballots that heavily favor Joe Biden, and they didn't see a path forward for Donald Trump. The AP is a obviously very respected news outlet. Fox News, a little bit of a surprise that they called Arizona as early as they did, and that has upset a lot of people too. But as of right now, those two organizations, the AP and Fox, have Arizona going toward Biden.
People were still in line when they called Arizona for Joe Biden. People were waiting in line to vote.
Okay.
And I think there's a good chance that discouraged them from voting. And we'll probably find that out in the near future.
Okay.
Also, there's conversation.
I'm just giving totals as we know them.
Yeah.
I'm giving totals as we know them and which organizations are declaring winners there. So I lost my train of thought. Michigan, as I said, about 100,000 votes left to count in the state of Michigan. So we're really very likely to have some final numbers out of Wisconsin and Michigan this morning. Okay, those are the ones. Pennsylvania may take some time. Last I heard, they have about 1 million votes still to count in the state of Pennsylvania, and those a lot of those votes are coming from the Philadelphia area. However, Trump has a very comfortable lead in the state of Pennsylvania going into today. Last I saw, somewhere in the neighborhood of 600,000 votes. So Pennsylvania will be very interesting to watch.